We have a question from Tim. I have a question about scapular winging. Have you come across this phenomenon in your time as a strength coach? I've heard the term. Is it a real issue or just one of those made up by physios and chiropractors to make some money? So, okay, let me go through the whole thing and I'll respond. My scapula does not flush to the rib cage in a lot of positions, nor does anybody's really. Um, this is one of those weird days where I'm not getting that noise as I go up and down here, because the other day, James Parker, who's one of the athletes I worked with when we were both younger, he's also on our American 2004 Olympic team as a hammer thrower. He's now a chiropractor. He kind of put one of my. It sounds weird, but as a thrower, I've always had this little problem, and he put some pressure on it. It was like a, and now I can go like this again. So, is it an imaginary term? I don't. I don't have the skill set to say yes or no. I've seen it with myself. I know people work on it, but I have another point. I can feel it slide around the rib cage instead of being locked down. Would you recommend any exercises that can improve scapular control and the strength of the muscles that integrate? Yeah, I have three. But the point I'd like to make is that if you're walking down the street and you saw a human scapula by itself, I'm not sure your brain would say human bone right away. Uh, most of our bones, are these long bones, or are cranium. You recognize them. The scapula is just a strange looking thing. It is a bizarre thing with all these points of contact around it, because it's a very. When we traded four-legged locomotion for two, it had to adapt to do some other jobs. So do I have some scapular things? Yeah, and it's funny because as a thrower, I have shoulder issues. But what's interesting is that the same shoulder issues fixes that I do might help you. The first, and of course, no surprise here, is just simply hanging. Okay, hanging. Now there is this little hanging shrug you can do like that, and it's funny because I'll get these great neck, and I don't know what else. Let's just say it is the ribs pop. God, I don't know what it is. But I'll do a few of these hangs and all these little short little tugs like this, and I'll get off and I'll be like, oh, I call it poor man's chiropractor. Ah. The next exercise comes from Dick Notmeyer. We used to do this at the end of every jerk. They're called press outs. You jerk the weight overhead and then you just go like this. Now, if done correctly, it really trains the serratus muscles. Those finger muscles on the sides of your front of your rib cage, and you'll notice it. I had a bodybuilder once point out that I had great serratus muscles, and he knew that I was an Olympic lifter because of it. And I was like, okay, that's not something you expect to hear, but it was true. And the final thing is something McCoy recommended in his book 1958, but I still think it has value. When you bench press at the top of the bench press, you do. He called them. That was my shoulder popping. So, hey, magic. So at the top, you would do these, he called them shoulder shrugs. So those three, so the shrugging on the pull-up bar, the shrugging on the press, and the horizontal shrug might help you. I am certainly no PT or physio, but these things have helped me and my thrower kind, okay? All right, hope that helped. Thank you.